I think it's hard to find people who get you and who I would call your people. But who knows, maybe they're trying to find you just as much as you're trying to find them. So keep being yourself. Maybe you're gonna be a beacon of light for someone else's sailing ship. And you know what? No matter what happens, no matter what you're going through, be yourself and try as much as you can to be genuine and to bring your soul into what you're doing. Yeah, I always found myself struggling with what I write, with what I record, and even with what I create and do in general, when it doesn't come naturally. I'll tell you what I mean. So I want to do certain things, whether it's that I want to be creative, or I want to record for the podcast, or do a photo shoot, or create a work of art. And in that struggle, I came to realize that what really matters is that it comes from the soul. And I know that sounds strange and unclear, but truly, that one element, the fact that it comes from the soul, has always been there with what I create. And not all the things that I create, just the things that feel like myself, the things that I resonate with, and what represent me. Now, realizing that made me accept it more, let it come naturally more, and not try too hard. Sure, try hard in the sense that you should try to put in the effort, to be dedicated, to try, and not just shut yourself off from getting better and learning and growing and paying attention to the details. So put your soul into the things that you do. Try well. Don't try too hard. Don't stretch yourself out into an element that doesn't fit you. Those things are things that I'm becoming more aware as I continue this journey of mine of creating things, of doing things. I've been reminiscing, looking back at the past few years, mainly the past 5 years, and seeing how I was acting, the way I was creating, and seeing what represents me during that period of time. And it got me to think that I like this person. I like the person that I have been. Even though I've grown, I've developed, I've become more refined in my knowledge, in my capacity, in my skill. But there is one element that I don't see present in the past, even though it feels so familiar to me. It's as if it has always been there, and that element is doubt. I'm always doubting myself, always second guessing and third guessing and fourth guessing myself. I obsess over things that end up not existing to begin with. People don't even see. And when I try to do something, I try way too hard. So when I was looking back, I didn't see that. I saw the results of me being myself, of me being this person. And when I thought back to it, these doubts and these second guessing, they were always there. It's just that it was an inner turmoil that constantly stirs within me. And I'm learning to accept it and to learn how to sail it in a way. If I would describe it as this vast sea where the storm is, I would say I'm learning to sail it better, so that whether the turmoil is there or if the sea is calm, the sea within, I'd be able to do what I know and what I desire to do. And I'm doing that by paying attention to this element of being genuine to myself, of letting things flow, of not having to work too hard and plan too hard and step out into something uncomfortable and strange and weird just to get this visual idea that I have in mind to become reality. So it's so strange that learning to accept yourself and to let go of trying too hard makes things flow more dynamically, more naturally. I mean, I've learned to do a lot of new things that obviously when I was starting to do, I didn't understand very well. I've done them in a way that was wrong on a technical skill. It was lacking, but back then, even when I was doing them, that element of confidence, and it's not just confidence, but also natural element that I was in the zone, I was being myself, I was expressing myself, that gave it soul, that allowed my soul to be present. I wasn't trying too hard, I wasn't really focusing on the details where the technical skills have to be absolutely precise and they have to fit this frame perfectly. It's okay that the frame of my work was wobbly like this, and the result within was beautiful. That's what I'm trying to visualize here. So yeah, putting your soul into it, letting it flow naturally, those things, they let you bring yourself into what you're doing, and it's so beautiful, it's so genuine and true, it's so you. God knows we tend to be so hard on ourselves. You want to experience this life, experience the world. You want to do things that make you feel beautiful, create beautifully, exist beautifully, share memories with those you love and you care about. Maybe meet new people that you learn to love and care about. Sometimes the most difficult thing about getting out there and going into the world is getting out of yourself. God knows I've struggled so much with that. God knows I've found myself always doubting myself, always in this abyss where I'm thinking that I'm not good enough. I'm thinking that, you know what, this person that I am and these things that I do, they're ridiculous, they're pointless, they're not good. Not just good enough, they're not good, period. And I guess finding this part where you have to have your soul present in what you do, in being you, it helped me navigate through this thing that I've been dealing with. I'll give you a technical example, since I mentioned technical stuff earlier. When I was doing my audio and video recordings, something that's new to me, taking a camera out, going in public and doing a recording, it's different from recording audio only, because when it came to audio only, I didn't care how the camera, let's say this is the microphone, there was no camera. I didn't care how the microphone was. My only focus was that the audio was good, and it was just two-dimensional. Is the audio good? Yes, that's it. But now that it's audio and video, new dimensions opened up. And when I sit down after I do the recording and I go back to do the editing, God, I end up doing a terrible job. A lot of the work that I've done ends up being bad. The audio quality, it feels muffled, and the video sometimes looks bad. The reason is I'm putting myself in a new environment, and I'm not focused entirely on the audio. So going through that, it made me frustrated. It made me feel like I'm a failure, a loser, someone who's going somewhere strange and doing strange things where no one else does. Or actually other people do, but those people that do it, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm saying what goes through my mind. I'm doing something that people would mock, they would laugh at. The reason I'm looking back, my backpack here, there's a bird next to it. I don't know if it's visible to the camera, but that's the bird and that's my backpack. Anyway, so I had this inner voice that was very, very negative, and I believed it. I'm not saying that, hey, don't listen to negativity, be positive. You cannot control that. You need, here's the thing. Imagine your mind and your thoughts as a closed space, and you have your thoughts going through it, and they're speaking. They're like clouds, and each thought has its own, let's say, content, and it does interact with the world. I'm seeing a cat. My thoughts are saying, I want to pet the cat. Probably I can pet the cat, and this cat seems friendly enough with humans. And the world is interacting with my thoughts, and I can pet the cat, and it reaffirms it. So when negative thoughts cloud your mind, and you've got a lot of clouds going on, who knows, let's put it this way. You need the environment around you to reassure you, to tell you, and to prove to you, not just say it verbally and that's it, to prove to you that, hey, what you're doing is interesting. What you're doing is giving you positive feedback. And funny enough, the environment doesn't have to just interact directly with it. Sometimes the environment is just negative, and that's it. So a negative environment will not supply or diminish this negativity within you, or positivity. If you're having positive thoughts, a negative environment will not allow it to nurture. So what I'm saying is, take care of your environment and re-evaluate it. Sometimes what you can do is just so much. You can't do more. You can, let's use strange examples. All my examples are strange. Let's say you get out of bed, you do your bed, you clean your room. I keep looking back, I swear. You take a shower, clean the room, dress well, and you plan the day ahead, maybe the week ahead, and you go about your life. You go to school, you study, you work, you meet people, you meet your family, you buy gifts, you buy food, you cook, you clean. But there are a lot of elements that are outside of your capacity. Some elements that are negative, some elements that are not good. And what do? Sometimes all you can do is endure. Sometimes you talk to a therapist, or maybe find positive elements that can help you, such as good friends, good music, TV shows, movies, entertainment, etc., reading a book, working on projects. So you are capable of finding positive impacts that can supply your day with things that will make the environment a healthy one, makes you better and make the world around you better, the environment has a huge effect on you. The environment can play a role in how you feel and how you think. It isn't entirely you that can control how you feel and what you think. And what do? You fall victim to the way you think. You fall victim to needing help and not finding it. Even if these negative thoughts cloud you so much and they build up until there's nothing but darkness around you, don't give up hope and keep trying, keep sailing through the storms. I mean, stories of unlikely successes are all around us, and there is no reason that you wouldn't be one of them. There's no reason that you'd be the exception that's gonna fail, even if it feels unlikely that you can make it. Don't give up. I mean, you only experience life once, so why not make it something worth experiencing? Take care of yourself. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time.